Good evening and welcome to Eye on Port here on Metropolitan Television. Eye on Port is proudly brought to you by Goyle PLC, Ghana Revenue Authority, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Marian Port Services MPS, and indeed the latest kid on the block, Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA, and our media partner on this journey of a lifetime is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all the transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show tonight. Indeed, we are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are streaming live on Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are live at Eye on Port. Eye on Port. We shall be getting interactive with you, and all you have to do is send us your messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line. Indeed, it's changed this week too. It's changed. The WhatsApp line has changed, and so you have to send your messages ahead via 050 00 0914 or 050 00 09144. At the appropriate time, when we pick signals that the time is right, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. Remember, our WhatsApp line has changed for today to be crawling on your screen while the discussion is going on. But let me give it out to you once again. It's 0500 00 9144. 0500 00 9144. Send your messages and comments here. At the appropriate time, we shall share with the rest of the world. My name is Kennedy Mona. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Every now and again, Goyle makes good things happen. This time, Goyle has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goyle has that sorted. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance. Oh, Ajima, tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, you're welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. And in the course of the week, remember, we celebrate World Environment Day. And Ghana, we have the Green Ghana project or Green Ghana promotion. And so on this particular day, Meridian Port Services committed to fighting plastic pollution. And they made that emphatic statement of pronouncement during the celebration of World Environment Day. And indeed, some fisher folk are lamenting the impact of plastic pollution on their fishing activities, plus the fact that the Port of Takoradi now has a new director of port. Let's take a look at these stories and more.
Over the past week, the Meridian Port Services demonstrated a commitment to help fight plastic pollution as persons, governments, businesses, and organizations globally marked the World Environment Day, together with state authorities within the port community, including the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Maritime Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Tema Metropolitan Assembly. MPS started off the celebration with a sensitization exercise to educate workers at the Terminal 3 on the responsible use and disposal of plastics.
Plastic, for your information, is a resource. As my brother said, because it's a resource, anytime you throw it away, you have thrown away money.
I personally segregate all my plastic waste. I don't throw any, I don't mix them with the normal domestic waste. But where do I deliver them? Nobody to take it. So you eventually have to mix it with your waste when the refuse collectors come. They mix them up. So what I do is I keep it and bring it to the port where we do segregation here and give it to recycling company. But if individually we do this, segregate, where's the system to take the segregated waste? We don't have a system in place. So local waste management is not keeping pace with the kind of consumption that we have.
I think it is high time. I want to see that we have the bins that are segregating waste. Because we have them, but I see that we mix them up. So let us take one step at a time. This is one very low-hanging fruit that we can do.
MPS that day also played host to the Marine Pollution Technical Committee to discuss marine pollution around the Tema Port Enclave and Tema Coastline, address institutional gaps and interventions, as well as strategize to implement the action plan to fight the situation. The committee consists of stakeholders from the maritime sector as well as the adjoining districts, which include the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Meridian Port Services, Ghana Maritime Authority, Tema Shipyard, Association of Ghana Industries, Environmental Protection Agency, Eastern Naval Base, Marine Police Unit of the Ghana Police Service, Tema Traditional Council, Tema West Municipal Assembly, Kong Katamanso Municipal Assembly, and selected heads of departments and units from the Tema Metropolitan Assembly. At the storm drain around the Terminal 3 at the Port of Tema, a senior environmental specialist at MPS, Henry Okai, called on adjoining communities to the port to end the indiscriminate disposal of waste.
Most of this rubbish coming are plastic waste, and it's quite alarming. Besides plastic waste, we have fecal matter also entering, and besides the cost, actually in a year we spend over 300,000 Ghana cedis just trying to keep the V-drain clean. And as you can see, we have some of our cleaners here who do the job for us. But that is not sustainable. What is sustainable is people need to change their behavior of improper waste disposal. The community out there, we all live there, we have friends and families there. We all need to be educated and also change our behavior of waste disposal. The improper waste disposal needs to stop.
As part of the World Environment Day celebration, MPS collaborated with the Environmental Protection Agency to sensitize students at Sakumono Complex JHS on the responsible use of plastics and separation of waste. In addition to that, they donated 12 waste bins as an effort to inculcate the habit of proper waste segregation and disposal among the younger generation.
You see, this is organic, this is plastic, this is paper, because these are the main streams of waste they generate in their schools, so that they can begin the waste segregation from source, so that when the waste recycling companies come to pick the waste, they don't have to send the waste to their factories and do another sorting and segregation. We believe that our children are agents of change, and that when they are championing something, it reaches further than what the elderly can do. So we are targeting the children.
Ahead of the World Environment Day, a team from the Meridian Port Services held a series of engagements with some members of the fishing community in Tema. The various fishermen bemoaned the negative impacts of plastic pollution on fish catch and fishing in general.
A little studies that we have done shows that plastic waste take 300 years before, even 300 years, it can't dissolve. Let's all draw attention. If this plastic waste enters the sea, fish also breed, and they come down and come and breed. So if the place that they are going to breed is full of plastic waste, where are they going to lay their eggs? It's one issue that we need to take into consideration. So now the decline of fishing of the fish in our ocean, we can tell categorically that is the plastic waste which is also contributing to the decline of the fish in our ocean.
The head of legal and compliance at MPS, Frank Ebo Brown, called on government, businesses, and the general public to work more closely to treat plastics responsibly.
When you go to the supermarket, use your bag. Don't use single-use plastics to pollute the environment. Let us build this culture as we go forward, and this would help sustainably address the problems. I will not limit it to the stakeholders of the port community. We are entreating all members. If we have such a big platform, let's entreat all members of our society. Let's entreat all people who watch this program to be responsible with plastics.
Ghana's leading oil marketing company, GOIL PLC, on Wednesday, June 7, held its 54th annual general meeting with an assurance to the consuming public that the company will continue to strive to stay at the top and offer the best products to enable customers enjoy value for money. The company is optimistic about a great future as it explores and invests into other businesses, including bitumen. Even before the company officially commissions its newly constructed bitumen plant, customers are already queuing to purchase the product from the company. Reginald Daniel Laye is board chairman of GOIL PLC.
We are sure that once the current economic challenges are overcome, the government will be able to construct more roads in the country, which will culminate in increased sale of bitumen. We also expect that the government will extend the local content requirement to road construction to reduce imports of bitumen, particularly polymer modified bitumen, the PMB, which the company produces domestically.
The company offered a 19% increase in dividends of shareholders at 0.056 Ghana cedis per share. This increase comes in the midst of financial and economic challenges that took a toll on many businesses. The board chairman again explains how the company was able to brave the storms.
In addition to being results-driven and flexible, GOIL has continued to hold the title of Ghana's most sought-after company in the downstream oil sector. The company's stations have seen an increase in patronage over the last 3 years, and their success is attributed to their commitment to always enhancing the client experience. This has been made possible thanks to the development of a successful sales force that has, over many years, solidified its bonds with the dealer partners that operate the stations.
Group CEO and Managing Director of GOIL PLC, Kwame Osei-Prempeh, expatiated on the uniqueness of GOIL products and why the generality of the Ghana people must continue to support the company in terms of patronage. Overall, the company posted a profit of 123.89 million Ghana cedis, representing an increase of 26%.
The quality of petrol is determined by what is called the octane level, run. The ordinary one, all the stations sell the ordinary one, RON 91. GOIL sells the best RON 95. And therefore, we have the highest patronage in the country. Anybody who knows the difference goes to GOIL to buy our petrol, the RON 95.
I hand over the helm of our first report of Tema.
Peter Amubediakon, a staff of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, has taken over the reins of the Port of Takoradi as its director. His appointment comes on the back of the retirement of Captain Ebenezer Kojo Afezi, who has been the director of port since 2015. At a colorful ceremony on Friday, June 9, an official pullout and handing over ceremony was held to officially bid him farewell from the authority. Captain Afezi joined GPHA in 1999 and rose through the ranks to become director of port in 2015. In his address, he enumerated some of the great feats he chalked while at the helm as director of port.
When I took over, I was handed over 830 staff, managers and officers, together with the junior staff, contract staff, or were 830. As I speak, our staff strength is 1,070. The cargo throughput for the year 2014 was 2.2 million metric tons. And at the end of the first quarter, the cargo throughput for only the 3 months was 1,752,033 metric tons.
The new director of port, on his part, pledged to continue the good works of his predecessor. He implored the entire staff of GPHA to pitch in and display their professionalism for the growth of the port. Peter Amubediakon joined GPHA in April 2002 and rose through the ranks, and among others, became the marketing and public affairs manager and human resource manager before his elevation to the position of director of port.
We at GPHA Port of Takoradi would want to assure you that we shall continue with your good works and expand the frontiers of the port by continuing with the hard-working values of commitment to hard work and truth you have instilled in us. I would like to express my gratitude to my predecessor, who has laid a solid foundation and has led this port with integrity and dedication. Under your leadership, the port has become a vital hub of commerce and a gateway for international trade. I am humbled, and I say very humbled, to stand on the shoulders of your achievements and determined to build upon them as we go along together.
The director of port of Tema, Sandra Opoku, who deputized for the Director General of GPHA, Michael Lugoje, extolled the hard work and diligence with which the outgone director of port undertook his duties.
I am certain that with the laurels that you have achieved in 23 years with GPHA, you can confidently look back and affirm what Apostle Paul said. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. 2 Timothy 4:7. Now you will be crowned because you have done well. Yes, indeed, you have left your mark on the history of GPHA can never be told without the mention of you. As a pilot, I therefore wish you fair winds and following seas. Aiko, and may God keep you in the next phase of your life.
All right, you're welcome back. Those were happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. We're now going for some international port and shipping news.
A DNV study shows that a staggering 81% of seafarers expressed a necessity for partial or complete training to effectively handle the advanced technologies expected to be deployed on future ships. Additionally, over 75% of respondents, of which 78% are deck and engine officers, indicated a need for training on new fuel types, such as liquefied natural gas, batteries, or synthetic fuels. The demand for training on emerging fuels like ammonia, hydrogen, and methanol surged even higher, reaching 87% among survey participants. The study was carried out by DNV Classification Society, and it was co-sponsored by the Singapore Maritime Foundation. The research examines the key drivers transforming the maritime industry and their impact on ship management and seafarers leading up to 2030. PetroTal, a Canadian-based company that reports it is the largest crude oil producer in Peru, said that its vessels and crews are coming under attack by the indigenous population as it works to move oil and supplies along the rivers in Peru's Amazon region. The company reports the attacks escalated with kidnappings, commandeering of its vessels, and blocking river transport. They released a brief video showing the population in small boats surrounding and attacking one of the company's vessels that was moving a barge on the river.
All right, so welcome back. It's now time for the word or phrase of the day. And the word of phrase of the day, remember, has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terminologies and jargons we use in the shipping industry. Today's word is P&I Club. P&I Club.
A protection and indemnity, or P&I Club, is a non-governmental, non-profitable, mutual, or cooperative association of marine insurance providers to its members, which consist of ship owners, operators, charterers, and seafarers under the member companies. A P&I Club's role is to support seafarers' safety and well-being by providing the required necessities.
Welcome back. We are now zooming into our discussion proper tonight, and tonight we are taking a look at the way forward for Ghana's non-traditional exports, coming on the heels or the back of announcements that Ghana raked in some 3.5 billion United States dollars for the year 2022 from non-traditional exports, and this was made known to us by the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. Indeed, out of 604 products, 2 products did very well, and we want to examine how these two products were able to surpass the others and did a trick for Ghana. Cocoa paste earned us some $520 million, and then followed closely by cashew nuts, and cashew also did us some $294 million. And so tonight we are examining how the Ghana Export Promotion Authority was able to do this, to achieve this feat, because we understand that this particular growth, this represents about 6% growth, as against the figure for last year. And so, it's very good news. $3.5 billion non-traditional exports. I think we cannot shelve this and sweep it under the carpet. We need to extol, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority for a good job done, and to find out from them what the way forward is for the non-traditional export sector. Recently, we heard they were also in Kenya for an exhibition. We would find out what came out of that particular exhibition. So, with me in the studios tonight is Mr. Alexander Dajawa, who is Director of Products at projects, I beg your pardon, Director of Projects. I just mentioned products. Yes, Director of Projects at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. And indeed, also in the studios with us is Mr. Moses Atubra. Mr. Atubra is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Debbie's Products. Yes, gentlemen, thank you very much, and good evening and welcome.
Good evening, and thank you.
Yes, so first of all, I would want Mr. Dajawa to run us through what actually happened. What was the magic wand that did the trick in terms of Ghana earning a whopping or colossal 3.5 billion from non-traditional exports?
Well, thank you very much, Kennedy, and good evening to your listeners.
Viewers.
Viewers and
absolutely, yes.
As well. Well, there's no magic. It's just hard work and consistency and sending the right message out there. Congratulations to our exporters who have all done us very great last year. You rightly said that cocoa paste was leading the pack, with cashew also following. The cashew story is a very good story. I think I was here not too long ago, I think last year, we discussed, and again I was talking about cashew.
Absolutely, yes.
Fact is that we have the climatic conditions, we have incentivized the farmers, and there is a lot more demand, for cashew nuts generally on the global markets, led by a strong demand in Vietnam, as usual, and also India. So it's not too much of a surprise to see that cashew has seen a lot of growth. And cashew also is a cross-border product or produce, in the sense that it's also grown in our neighboring countries. So there's some, cross-border trade also, depending on the movements. Yeah. So all these came up to shore up the quantities that we exported, and the pricing was also not too bad. Yes. Remember also that there is a new regulatory authority in the system called the Tree Crops Development Authority. Yes. Yes. That has come to rationalize and sanitize the system for cashew and other tree crops. So these helped in no small way to increase the export values. First of all, the quantities or the volumes, which by extension also affected the values. For cocoa paste, of course, we all know that Ghana is a major producer of cocoa, and the paste goes into mainly chocolate production and other forms of products. Right. And the demand has increased over the years, and particularly also last year, because after the COVID, that there was some resurgence in the various economies led by strong growth in consumption in Europe and elsewhere. And so demand was quite high, and the processors also had access to a lot more beans, to process. And so that led to that growth. And one key player in the mix these days is Niche Cocoa, which is a local 100% Ghanaian-owned company, is coming up, which is doing so well, to the extent that they are even in North American market. So these combinations of factors led to this growth.
Let's still stick a little bit with cashew. Which part of Ghana is cashew grown? For me, I'm a northern, so when I'm going up north, sometimes you can even stop by a farm. Most of the farms are by the roadside, so you can go and plug one.
Yes. And it's a transitional crop, from the all the way from the top of Ashanti region, Brongahafo, all the way to the northern parts. So that transition zone is very, very good for cashew. Right. And so Brongahafo, the whole of Brongahafo, that's the main growing areas, and some parts of the Volta region, towards the northern part of Volta region, Dambai, and so forth and so on, all the way to the southern parts of the northern region. The savanna areas are very good for cashew, but more importantly in the Brongahafo region.
Right. When we say cocoa paste, is that an indication that we are adding value to our cocoa at the moment?
Yes. That's value addition, and we should even move to tertiary, tertiary value addition. That is to say, to chocolates and to other readily consumable cocoa products, such as the cocoa drinks and so for the confectionery and all that. That will even give us more value than even the paste, because the paste is a semi-processed product.
Right.
The powder is a semi-processed product. But if you can move further, like Niche is doing, and I always talk about Niche because they are quite aggressive and forward-looking. Of course, we haven't forgotten about Cocoa Processing Company, our traditional, pioneer cocoa processors. They also are still in the market. And so we need to do more in tertiary processing. Once we do that, the values will normally increase, and we'll get even more value in terms of our non-traditional exports.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ineda. We're coming back to you. But let me come to Mr. Atubra and find out from you. Tell us briefly about Debbie's products and your experience in the Ghanaian cosmetics market, because our understanding is that you belong to that particular fold.
Yes. Thanks, Ken. Debbie's Products is a limited liability company that was started in, let me say, 16 years. We are in our 16th year. I started, it's a family business owned by myself and my wife. And as the name suggests, Debbie's. So that's my wife's name, which we put on the company. The interest was developed while...
Why did you omit your name?
Oh, cosmetics is more of a feminine thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Right. I get it. Yeah.
So I worked with Dark and Lovely, Soft Shin Castle, for almost 10 years on the Spinters Road. So that's where the interest began. I moved into banking, and then we started the business. So it's just taking an organic path. We haven't done anything to grow it, overnight. But over the years, I would say we joined GPHA in about our second year because we were having problems in South Africa and in Nigeria. Because of my exposure to the free zone business, my excitement was always with the export markets. And we bit our fingers in those markets, South Africa and Nigeria. So I had to run to GPHA and then also the Chamber of Commerce for support, for me to claim my trademark back from predators. So that's when our journey with GPHA began. And it's been phenomenal. They've really been supportive. It's not like they want the big fishes to support. No matter your size, when you knock on their doors, they are there for you to hold your hands. And that's what it's been. GPHA has taken us through exhibitions in Nigeria, everywhere, to Europe. I mean, from the small markets to the big ones. So this is the support from government, and every business must take advantage of GPHA, Yes.
So you are discussing, you are alluding to the fact that your partnership with GPHA, since you got into contact with them, has been quite tremendous in terms of the kind of help they offered you.
Absolutely.
To propel you and to get you to grow.
Absolutely, because we'll come to Kenya, but I mean, they take us out there and they present us as big companies. These are companies we trust, and the government of Ghana has brought to your country. So receive them. And in our own backyard, there are shops in Ghana, there are retail stores in Ghana who will not want to carry made in Ghana products.
Absolutely.
We report these things to the Ministry of Trade, and they step in. And then from time to time, they allow us a bit of space. It's a shame. Some people bring products that are labeled in foreign language. If you go out there, you see.
Absolutely, we see them.
And these things are on the shelves. How do we grow locally? And that is why I really appreciate what GPHA does for us. Yes.
Great. Okay, you mentioned Kenya, but before you talk about Kenya, let me come to Mr. Dejawa and find out from you, how Kenya came about, and whether it's a yearly thing that you've been doing, or this was just a one-off thing that you planned deliberately and took Ghanaian exporters there. Before I'll come to Mr. Atubra for his experience in Kenya.
Well, Kenya came in the picture because we are refocusing our, marketing efforts in Africa as a result of the signing of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. And here I must say that we work very closely with the National Coordination Office of AFTA, which government has set up to, as it were, coordinate all the efforts countrywide towards our accessing the African markets.
Absolutely.
And they are an agency or a coordinating office under the Ministry of Trade. And as you know, GPHA is also one of the agencies of the ministry.
Unfortunately, so, you guys are in the same
building. And so also in the same building. Yes. So we came together. Actually, there's a very cordial relationship between the two of us, the two institutions. So we sat and felt that it's about time we did something or took advantage of the AFCFTA. Remember that Ghana is hosting the National Secretariat. So it was deliberate, but also because with the AFTA, only 8 countries in Africa have declared their readiness to start trading under the AFTA agreement because they are ready. Others will come on board. And in order not to let these opportunity become one of those things on paper where we sign agreements and not implement them, we decided that we need to take that step. And of the 8 countries, one of them is Ghana, of course, and also Kenya. And so we thought that why don't we start off from testing the, as it were, the waters by fielding such a big, mission to Kenya. And Kenya is a big player in Africa, particularly within the Eastern African countries. It's a gateway to East Africa. So we thought that if we started from there, it would be very great. And fortunately, it was also in the plans of the coordination office. So we put together the team that worked on this. And last month, from 23rd to 27th of May, we had a big expo.
Wow.
And we took advantage of that also to launch our Ghana Trade House. It's an export trade house in Kenya, in Nairobi, where most of these products that we are pushing into the Kenyan and East African markets are going to go through. And Moses will testify that it's a very big thing.
Okay, so that's a trade house you commissioned in Kenya.
So this is a trade house that we commissioned in Kenya, and it's going to display most of our made in Ghana products, exclusively made in Ghana. So you can see the chocolate section.
Absolutely.
You can see the cosmetic section and all that. So Moses' products are also there. And already trading has started.
Wow.
And we are getting daily reports.
Wow.
Yeah, that people are patronizing and it's moving on very, very well.
Wow.
And it's also going to have a warehouse where the products, when shipped, will be distributed from there.
Wow.
And we are very hopeful that we are going to get a lot of orders from this. Yeah, it has an upper level and then also the ground level.
Yes.
And a lot of promotion is going to take place here. So we are calling on all exporters to be aware of this, that this is going to be a big thing for Ghana. This is the first of its kind.
I feel like becoming a shea butter exporter.
Yeah, that's right. And cosmetics is one of the top liners. In fact, right now, demand for cosmetics by the Kenyans, you can see the range of cosmetics that we have put there from various companies doing so well.
Wow.
And the packaging is also very, very good. And you can see the Dinkra symbols that we have put there. And people come to ask, what are these? And we try to tell them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And for me, like you said, I'm happy that you've started receiving feedback from there, that patronage is quite good and all that. And so you need to keep it up so that people do not go there and then they get there and then they say, oh, we've run out of this, we've run out of that and all that. I think that there should be that consistency, so that we can sustain the Ghana, trade house in Kenya.
Yes.
You did very well. So where exactly did it take place? And how many exporters did you take?
We took about 70 odd exporters, including Debbie's products, and he's going to tell you his own story.
Absolutely,
and that of the other companies that did well, about 70 of them.
We could have taken in Nairobi?
In Nairobi.
Okay.
In Nairobi, in one of the malls.
Right.
Sarit Expo Center.
Yes.
About a six-story building.
Yeah.
The top of it is all about shows.
Wow.
And we took the whole place, and it was quite a good show for 5 days.
Wow.
Yes, and at the sidelines also we had business fora.
Yeah.
And then that also resulted in a number of requests.
Right.
And I myself was on Kenya Broadcasting Corporation.
Okay, that's the national broadcaster for Kenya.
National Broadcasting Corporation studio like this one live to speak to the Kenyans.
Wow.
And as a result of that, I can tell you that people are quite happy about it.
Absolutely.
To the extent that now our counterparts, the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Authority, wants to take a cue of this, and they are also quite interested in opening up a similar facility in
the
Ghana.
Kenya Trade House in Ghana.
Yes, Kenya Trade House in Ghana. You know. So that's it. It's all about the African, you know, unity.
Also.
Through trade.
Right.
And this is what we are promoting, and this is what the AFCFTA is all about. So it's not about competition, but pooling resources and then taking advantage of each other's competitive edge.
Absolutely. Right. So would you consider organizing this fair, maybe next time you go to Kenya, in the Ghana Trade House?
Yes, it's possible, except that it's a business park. We call it the Samien Business Park. It's one of the maybe free zone areas, and so there are so many companies and all that. We may not have
regulations.
Not only that, the space big enough to accommodate this. But we are thinking about holding targeted small events, promotional events. Then already my CEO is thinking about us going back this June or early July to do some shows that will attract people to come more.
Absolutely.
We are positioning it in Kenya, not only for the Kenyan market, but for the Eastern African
countries.
So we need to do a lot more. So for the Tanzanians, the Ugandans, and all that to come, and the Rwandans can come and patronize and take goods from there.
Absolutely. Yes. So let me come. Tell us your experience when you went to Kenya.
Oh, Kenya was phenomenal. I would say, you see, there are similarities in the markets. And so it's not difficult to break through or to convince anybody to buy share products and all. But before touching on Kenya, I just want to say the cosmetics industry is a big industry. Globally, 2022, the numbers show that about 260 billion. Okay, euros.
Globally?
Yes,
globally. Annually?
Globally, yes. For 2022 figures. And this is projected to hit 670 billion by 2050. So cosmetics is big. For the France economy alone, 2022, same year, cosmetics contributed 2.9 billion euros.
To the France
and look
economy.
At some of the numbers Ghana struggles to get. You know, for Africa, in 2022, we made about 2.4 billion for all the 54 or so countries.
Right.
You know, the fact is we cannot compete with the West and with Asia when it comes to the cosmetics, you know, the chemical-based cosmetics. However, I've been in exhibitions in China and people queue for our shea butter and the black soaps and things because they see it as natural and authentic and all that. That is our strength. So it's good we identify our strength. I was just asking Alex, why is it that we are not even traveling with goldsmiths and like the guys who do this jewelry and all that? Because Ghana is known for the gold.
Absolutely, the goldsmiths.
So, you look at the place and you see more of Share, another, two clothing companies. You know, but the rest seems to be similar. But we have so many things we have to tap into. And we look forward to that because people are waiting for what makes us unique.
Absolutely.
And then they want to buy and patronize. And then they want to travel to see. A lot of tourists go to Kenya to see the wildlife. What are we promoting?
Absolutely.
So we're looking forward to having a broader conversation. So brothers and sisters in other industries, just walk together and make yourselves known. The world is waiting to see what you have. You know. So for the cosmetics, I would say the response is good. Myself and a very good brother, Amanex, we were all over town and we are having good responses. In fact, we are going to ship in about a week or two.
Into Kenya?
Yes, into Kenya already. If you may ask what the challenges are or hurdles, I don't see them as challenges. It may be the harmonization bit. Because we have to certify our products at their standards, you know.
That is under AFTA.
And in Kenya.
Yes.
So
okay.
Alex may want to-
under AFTA, and they already moved towards that. We are in touch with the Kenya Exports, Kenya Standards Bureau. We call it KEBS, Kenya Standards Bureau. To work on this conformity certificate in harmonizing our standards. Already there has been discussions between the two institutions. It's
Right.
not a big deal.
Right.
The only thing is to get the appropriate channels through which this will be regularized.
Right.
And we are even preparing to write a formal request through our Ministry of Foreign Affairs to our High Commission,
Right.
because they wanted this attestation. Once that is done, naturally they would certify the Ghanaian products, because they know already these are quality products.
Yeah.
But because it is a demand or a requirement to enter the Kenyan market, we will do that.
Right.
Already those that are on the shelves in Kenya in the trade house now are going through the process. So that's not going to be a big thing at all. Yeah.
It's just a process.
It's just a process, yeah.
Right. So let me come to you. We have cocoa paste 1. We have cashew nuts 2.
Cashew, yes.
In the scheme of things, where does cosmetics stand?
Well, cosmetics is growing. I wouldn't say we are there yet.
Yeah.
It's a growing market. In fact, even cosmetics, it's only recently that a lot more people are going to cosmetics. Where he worked for Cassins. Yeah. Sorry, is it?
That can have, yes.
Yeah,
Softsheen Cassin.
Yes, Softsheen Cassin. They were, but these are international companies that have established in Ghana.
Right.
But talking about the Ghanaian cosmetic industry, it's only now growing.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing is that a lot of young women are going into that space. So
Right.
it is growing, but we are not there yet. It's not one of the big, products that we would say is giving us a lot of value.
Yeah.
But it will grow, and it's in transition. So very soon, you'll be hearing of it as one of the key planks of our non-traditional export sector. But then the other third big ticket item or product for us last year was steel products, iron and steel products. They did so well because there's high demand in the sub-region, particularly the Sahelian region. So we moved a lot of iron and steel products into those markets. So we generated also a lot of revenue for us.
Yeah.
Not forgetting also our processed fruits, the cut fruits, those ones that are done by Blue Skies and Co.
Yes.
They are also still on the rise.
That's the fresh fruits.
Yeah,
Yes.
not the fresh, but then the process, the dried, the cut, salad, fruit
Yes,
salad.
I know
and
they
all
have
that.
some,
Doing so
some
well.
dried mangoes.
Dried
yeah.
mangoes.
Yes, I think
yeah.
I've tried it before.
And the good thing is that the number of companies that are coming on stream now, we even want to support the fruit juice companies like Ekumfi and Co. to also start exporting. And the market is huge. Just like I was talking about cosmetics, the processed fruit market is huge. The only thing is to increase our production levels to respond to the market demand. And we'll be there. Yes. We'll be there.
All right, let me find out from you. Well, I just want to find out, these are new developments. These things are happening at this particular time when Ghana, through you, has rolled out the National Export Development Strategy. So I just want to find out from you how this one is linked to the various interventions that you have carried out or you've implemented under the nets.
No, it's one of these because the NET talks about a lot of interventions. Even the trade house that we have established is called the Export Trade House in the National Export Development Strategy document. So it's an imperative that we do this.
Right.
It is not, let's say, just a wish of GEPA, but what over 100, the result of what the over 100 institutions that help formulate the strategy have told us to do. So the establishment of the Ghana Trade House is one of the key interventions within the nets.
Right.
And Kenya is only the first stop. We have plans to open these up in other countries. We're thinking about Northern Africa. We are thinking about Southern Africa. We are thinking about the Sahelian region also. So once we've been successful with this one, others will come. Moses was just telling me about why don't we open one in Dubai? Because Dubai is, a melting area for all these, Asians and the Gulf state and all that. And so we are thinking about all those things. So the interventions are there, and we are just pursuing the implementation of the activity. So it will not be surprising that we are beginning to see these good results. Once we follow through with the implementation under the direction of the Ministry of Trade and Industry and working closely with the NCO that I spoke about, we are sure that we'll be on the path.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be easy, though, because the target is quite ambitious, 25 billion within the next 7 years.
Yeah, 2029, yes.
Yeah, and it's going to be quite tough. But with the right support that we can get from both government and private sector, we'll be well. Let me also say quickly and also give credence or kudos to the AGI,
yes,
the Association of Ghana Industries. They are a private sector partner in this Ghana Trade House thing that we are doing.
Right.
It's a PPP, it's a private public partnership.
Yeah.
So GEPA alone cannot do it. We depend on the Ghana, the Association of Ghana Industries and their members to help, work it out.
Right.
Because for GEPA, we are government, so we cannot do business.
Absolutely.
So AGI, fortunately has also come in and understood the concept, and they are the ones that are right now holding on to it and drive it for us.
Awesome.
So it's important that I mention AGI particularly.
Awesome. All right, I'll come to you. You want to say something, but let me activate the phone lines now. Remember, our usual number has changed, and so tonight, if you want to call in and contribute to the discussion, the number to dial is 0593 874633. 0593 874633. Yes, the number is right there on the screen, so that's the number to dial if you want to contribute to the discussion tonight. Yes,
so I mentioned what makes us unique. So, for example, with Debbie's products, we are into skincare, hair care, and home care products. Right. And then when it comes to even the hair care, we use things like pawpaw leaves, plantain leaves, and, the palm kernel oils and things that, even with the soaps, we use things like the cocoa potash. Wow. After they've taken the chocolate out of whatever the cocoa, the pot, which usually is thrown away. To rot, is what we use to make the soaps. And the Western world and the Asians know the value of these things. My concern lately has been how in the north, the shea trees are being cut for firewood.
Right.
And it's not easy to cultivate shea.
Absolutely.
I'm told if you cultivate after 7 years or whatever, it still doesn't yield.
Yes.
Which means God has given us such a blessing, and we need to protect these things.
Yes.
I don't understand why we would allow such trees to be cut.
Yeah.
And these trees of shea butter gives livelihoods to many of our women. Yeah. A lot of the NGOs are working with them. Yeah. They finance them and everything. So I don't know why we'll still cut these trees.
Yeah.
So there should be some protection for us to preserve these trees.
Right.
We were in Kenya, and we are talking of good things about Kenya. Yeah. One of the good things I saw was trees everywhere. And when we probed, it's a law. Okay. We were told even in your own house, when it rains and a tree falls, from the storms, within some minutes you have to call the authorities to let them know that the rainfall has broken a tree in your house, so that they come quickly, register it, and make a report. But here we indiscriminately are felling all our trees.
Yeah.
So we should be serious. We have to protect what we have. If this share is all chopped off, I don't know what our women in the rural areas who depend on this would do.
Yeah.
So we need to look at it. And another thing is we are told people are exporting shea nuts.
Yes.
For Christ's sake, why should anybody be allowed to carry shea nuts? What is the value of that? If they carry it?
Yeah.
If we process these things here, it creates jobs.
Absolutely.
And then we earn higher.
Yes.
Let's take, I don't want to mention prices, but if you take raw shea butter from the north, it's about 1/5 the price or 1/10 the price if you processed it into a cream or hair product.
Yes.
So we are not saying they shouldn't take raw shea butter out of Ghana, but the shea nuts should not be carried out of this country. Else, with time, all our small industries that Alex is praising, the young girls are moving into, we will not even have raw materials to work with. So that's one great concern I have. So there should be solutions.
Right.
Maybe we have to provide gas or whatever at a subsidized rate to our rural folk, so they can also be relieved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so tonight we are discussing non-traditional exports and how to strategize in order to make revenue targets, how to exceed our revenue targets in the non-traditional export sector, and to strategize for the future. And this comes on the back of the announcement by the GEPA, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, that the nation earned a whopping $3.5 billion in 2022 from non-traditional exports. And that's what the discussion we're having tonight with Mr. Alexander Dajawa, who is the Director of Projects at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and indeed Mr. Moses Atubra, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Debbie's Products. They are into cosmetics. We are going for a quick break. When we return, the phone lines are activated. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. Please stay with us.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Go Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Go Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Go Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Go Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water. Or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse. Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects, and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. This is Metro TV, and the program is Eye on Port, and tonight we are taking a look at non-traditional export sector and how we can exceed our revenue targets and also strategize for the future. And the Ghana Export Promotion Authority is doing tremendously well, coming on the heels of the attainment of some $3.5 billion in non-traditional export earnings, and plus the fact that recently they were also in Kenya, for an exhibition, and we also just heard the announcement by Mr. Dejawa that Ghana has opened the Ghana Trade House in Kenya. And here it's in a very strategic location in Nairobi, the Kenyan capital, right from the airport. When you are going, I'm told you can spot it there. And so if you need anything Ghanaian, you just cannot miss it. And so if you happen to be in Kenya anytime from now, please try and check it out. Let me come to you, Mr. Atubra. You mentioned challenges earlier in one of your submissions.
Yes.
I just want to find out from you what you think exporters like you can do to be able to export better under the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Yeah.
Yes, I was told we had one Kennedy on the line. We would find out for, we understand he's off, and so when we come back, we shall be picking him, and there would be, you can call in, and the number to dial is right here, 0593-874633, 0593-874633. You can call in and then contribute to the discussion. That's our new number. Remember, the old number is not in use at the moment, and so please do give us a call. So please go ahead and tell us what you think that can be done to better.
Okay. The challenges, I would say most of them are from back at home here. The cost of doing things.
Yes.
For example, I saw one.
Okay, so I understand we have Kojo from Afajato on the line. Good evening, sir. Oh, come back from where you left off. Yes. Yes.
Somewhere last year,
yes,
we had a program organized by Export Promotion Authority, NGIZ, in Ho. I'm into coffee processing.
Okay.
Coffee processing. Very beautiful, very nice one. We were told that they will help us to get some loans and help us to process our things to meet the international standards for export. But since then, we've not been hearing. When we call, they ask us to bring proposals. When we go to the people they directed us to, we've been asked to pay $2,000 for the proposal. I want to find out, would they have any means to help those of us who are beginning?
Right. Thank you very much, Kojo, from Afajato. Yes, Mr. Dejawa. Do you have any knowledge of what he's talking about?
No, I don't myself have any knowledge immediately, but if it is our regional office in Ho, then probably yes. We work also through the regions.
Right.
So it's likely that our regional office, working together with the GIPC, may have organized such a program.
Okay.
Yes, we are interested in all kinds of non-traditional exports, and coffee is one of them. And in the Volta region, not only him, but a few other companies are processing coffee.
Right.
I've just forgotten the name, but there's one which is very good, which we have featured in a number of our programs in the past.
Right.
And I'm sure they may have gotten some orders from there. So if it's a startup, yes, we can look at it. But we ourselves, as GEPA, don't have, we are not a funding agency per se.
Right.
What we do is to facilitate the process. But we have links with other financing agencies.
Yes.
We work closely with Ghana Exim Bank because they are set up to provide financial assistance to export-oriented companies. So if his business is oriented towards exports, then certainly it's something that we can look at. We also have a few banks who have now set up export desks.
Right.
They have products, targeted mainly for small exporters, whom we can also recommend them to go and see.
Okay.
So by all means, my brother from
Afajato,
kindly contact again our whole regional office. Our regional officer is Doris Bansa, and have a conversation with her, and then probably you can send your request to us. I'm not sure about the proposal and the 2,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
But of course, when you
$2,000.
$2,000.
Yes.
Fact is that if you are looking for a facility, definitely you have to have a business proposal or a business plan. And so when you go to an expert to prepare for you, certainly you will have to pay.
Absolutely.
But I'm not too sure about the dollars. It must be priced in cedis, not dollars anyway. Because
he mentioned dollars.
So yes, we can assist by linking you and giving you what we call export service advice as to what you can do. We'll be glad to have you as part of our fraternity because coffee is not one of the regular things that we do.
Right.
And Ghana is not known to be a producer of coffee. We used to be, but now we are not.
Absolutely.
But if you can process the coffee into other things, yes, by all means, we will have to.
Okay. Let's go on to the phone lines and welcome Eric from Kokrobite. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Please shoot.
I want to recommend Mr. Atobra and Mr. Alex. And I might say that I was part of the exhibitors at Ghana Trade House in Kenya.
Okay.
And it was so wonderful. And GPHA, after they have done very well. And in Africa, I think if some of our leaders also are doing the same thing, it will help African business to grow very well.
Right.
And I believe that by the next year and the year to come, if we're able to they do the same thing also in other African countries,
right.
Ghana will grow. They have done very well. I was part of the exhibition, and my good friend, Mr. Atobra, we move all over Kenya, and we have good orders.
Right.
And we were not having the plans to go there, but through the initiatives, we were able to fund ourselves very well, and it was so fantastic. So I commend after GPHA and all those who support us to Kenya.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Mankwa. And we're grateful to you. I think you were together in Kenya. Yes.
Yeah, we were.
All right. So you were
the
making a point.
Yes. I would rather want to focus on recommendations. I don't know how much time we have.
Yes, we don't have enough time.
The challenges, as we might have seen from the first caller, funding is always a challenge.
Absolutely.
In fact, it's been very tough operating without any bank loan and all that, and then you want to build your factory and all that. It's been really tough, really tough, using your working capital to invest into capital expenditure and all that. So my recommendation is that the government probably, or some of these trading agencies, could look at having what do you call it, like industrial zones for SMEs.
Okay.
Yes, we have the big free zones and things.
Yes.
You go there, an acre of land is about $1 million. How many of us can afford? It's definitely tough for us. But for the small-scale businesses, for the SMEs, we should begin to look at developing industrial zones. Not necessarily free zones, but industrial zones, and then the government should give some reliefs. If you are in an industrial enclave, it's obvious probably you are because
if you are in an industrial enclave. Yes, if you are in an industrial enclave, please hold it there. When we come, continue from there.
Okay.
But let's go and welcome Elliot Williams onto the lines. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes. Can you up your voice a bit, please?
Good evening.
Yes, please go ahead.
I want to commend Moses Atobra. And I will be grateful if he could drop his line.
Okay, which of them, please?
Moses.
Mr. Atobra, okay, your phone, your number.
Okay, should I?
Yes.
Okay,
Elliot Williams.
Let him finish. When he finish,
okay.
Yes. I think you are listening to yourself on the TV. Can you lower the volume on your set, please?
Okay.
Lower the volume on your set, and then we can hear you clearly. Great. Please go ahead now.
I want Atobra to drop his line.
Okay.
His number.
Yes. He will.
Yes. Okay.
He will. Thank you very much. So you are just calling for the number, right?
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
Okay,
yes.
thank
so
you.
You can
well, my number is 024 014-0408. Please, you have it.
Go, you can go over
024-014-0408.
Right. I think he should have it.
Thanks.
Yes. He should have it. Yes. So
I was making a point. We should have industrial zones, and this should be regional based. In every region, we should have something where, because you see, for manufacturing, it's so difficult, right from raw materials to packaging, and to even things like barcoding and all that. A barcoding machine could cost you about $6,000. So what you see is stickers. A lot of small businesses manufacture an expiry date, and you put stickers, and sometimes these stickers will pull.
Yes.
But if we have these business enclaves,
yes,
and then government gives reliefs, so everything, for example, that you are taking to that enclave is probably a raw material. So why do you pay so many taxes on your raw material when you don't even have the capital? So these are things that the Ministry of Trade should look at. And it will really help. It will help a great deal in propelling a lot of the SMEs. At the end of the day, government employs about 600,000 people. And we spend over 70% of our GDP on their salaries. Now, private sector employs a chunk of Ghanaians.
Absolutely.
And these SMEs, we employ about 26 people. At the peak, when we got some contracts, we could push to 128, 130.
Right.
You know, so I imagine if we have all these SMEs being supported in a way, we don't want free money.
Right.
But create what usually our politicians will say, the enabling environment. What more can be enabling than having these enclaves? So that I don't have to look for a loan to build a 2 million CD, 3 million CD factory.
Yes.
But then plug and play. There are shelves there with electricity, roads, and everything, internet. You go to Dubai and things, and these are the things they do.
Absolutely.
I was opportune to be part of an entrepreneurial forum in Bahrain.
Right.
And some young guys came to share their experiences from their countries and the support they are giving. In some of the countries, all you need is a business plan to show that you can employ 5 people.
That's it.
And you'll be given funding and everything. The office is there. The only loan they give you at an interest is the loan for your car.
Right.
But so long as you can employ 5 people, because they see unemployment as a national security issue, you know, but here it looks like you have to struggle, you know, and it's tough.
Right.
So if government really wants to help, these are some of the basic things they can do.
Absolutely.
In all the regions, there are lands everywhere.
Right.
If government wants to do it, it's very easy to do this. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, may I just briefly respond to that?
Yes,
I mean, it's very interesting, his idea. And interestingly enough, also, our CEO, Dr. Ifo Asabi-Asare, has been thinking about that. And just about 3 weeks ago, we had a conversation with Afrexim Bank.
Right.
You know, Afrexim Bank is the big Pan-African bank in Cairo.
Yes.
And she just pushed this idea to them to have a common use facility in regional, some strategic regional centers. Particularly also near where we have raw materials, like you are saying, plug into, you know, to play, kind of. So all these facilities will be there. You have the packaging, you have all the facilities. All you need to do is that if you have a product or you have an idea, you just go in there and then you plug and you do according to what your business plan tells you. So we've had conversation with them. We are in the process of putting together a proposal to that effect, and I would welcome your ideas so that we strengthen it. We have gotten a draft. We are in the process of shaping it up, and then we send it to Afrexim. But they are willing to look at it positively. They are quite excited that this is quite a revolutionary idea that we are bringing. Nobody has told them about this before, so they are quite happy to help. And so let's work at it together and see that we'll get some results. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. So there are some messages here. This one says, hello, I import. Very important discussion there. My worry is that some of these products are taken out there. Some of these products taken out there can be further processed for more value. My humble opinion. Inshra from Takwa said that. Thank you very much, Inshra. And this one says, my name is Perrin Kofrodia. it's my personal wish that these trade houses are spread across the continent. Anyway, are there any plans to replicate this elsewhere? That's a question. And this one says, I like the idea of industrial zones brought up by Mr. Atubra. Government should take it up. Fred in Okaishi sent in this one. So replicating the trade house
I
across the
have
continent,
already
yes.
spoken about that. I've said that we have plans to replicate them in other countries, strategically placed. We are not just going to establish just anywhere. You know, it is the evidence that must back the need for us to open it. And we are saying that on the back of the AFCFTA, at least we are going to open up about 5 of them in the next few years to come. And so they should watch out. One in Kenya, we are thinking about Northern Africa, the country, not yet, and also West Africa, somewhere around Sierra Leone, perhaps. So we are going to do that.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right. So are we on target to meeting 25 billion by 2029? That's in 7 years' time.
Well, the targets, yes, we've set the targets. It's not for GEPA.
We are now in 2023. So
yes, it's not for GEPA alone. It's for the whole of Ghana.
Yes.
And we must make conscious effort. We are only coordinating the efforts. But we always talk about the stakeholders. All the stakeholders must come to play.
Yes.
Ghana Enterprises Agency, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Ghana Exim Bank.
Yes.
You know, all of us have to play according to the interventions that have been outlined. If we do that, certainly we'll be able to achieve it. Mr. Tubra spoke about finance. Finance is a very critical part of the whole thing. And as I said, GEPA itself does not have the financing to give to companies.
Yes.
But that is why we are lobbying hard for government agencies such as Exim Bank to also come to support.
Absolutely.
And they've told us that they are willing to, because they've set up an export desk specifically to look at projects of export-oriented companies that meet their criteria, and they'll be able to give them the financial assistance that is required. So if anybody has such a wonderful plan, he wants to produce a product and is looking for financial assistance, by all means can come through us, and we will also make recommendations to Exim Bank to see if they can be supported. We are also partnering other financial institutions. Recently, Absa Bank came knocking on our doors that they have facilities to offer to export-oriented companies. So, yes, gradually, if we are able to surmount this financing challenge, I'm sure that it will be easier to reach the targets, even maybe earlier than we envisage.
Absolutely.
But it's not going to be easy.
Mr. Atubra, when you were mentioning some of the raw materials you use for your products or cosmetic products, you mentioned herbs, you mentioned plants.
Yes.
You even mentioned this coconut thing,
Yes.
you know, and all that. I just want to find out from you if you can give us an idea as to how, producers can leverage on the vast untapped natural resources that we have that we probably are not even aware of.
Yeah, this is a very important question. I always tell my children, when I die and come again, I'll be a herbalist. And I say so because I just love to read about herbs.
Yeah.
I have apps that take me to any herb and to let me know what the uses and the benefits are. For about a year, I was shuttling between Accra and Center for Scientific Research at Mampong, trying to collaborate with them. So they would help me with herbal-based formulations and all that. These are the kind of things. And in fact, I'm the head of manufacturing for the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And through some of these conversations and my initiative anyway, we are partnering the CSIR to have what we call like a DEBA once a year, where they showcase their research, and then industry will go and take a look, and then you see what will benefit you or what you can commercialize, what has viability, and then you can commercialize.
Absolutely.
So we'll be starting that this year. And these are the kind of things, when I see someone just buying a vast land and cutting off every tree just to plant maize or to plant one thing, I'm like, we don't know the value of what we have. Because you see, you walk through the bush and some plants you see, if you were to extract something from it, the solutions these things could create. But it's like we are one way. Oh, export, let's drive this, coconuts. So everybody, and we grade thousands of acres of land to plant coconut. So let's diversify. Let our research centers tell us what the herbs can do.
Absolutely.
And let's find commercial value all around us. You know, all around us. I was telling my brother moments before we walked in that, for example, I don't know why everybody is looking at salt production and we are looking at Songo. And people are fighting.
Yes.
If you have money, go somewhere else. We have this vast coastline. And go and do salt. Why do you take over? Anyway, it's another for another conversation.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying we are sitting on such a blessing. You know, we have such a wide scope of land, sea, and everything. So let's really wake up, because we shouldn't be hungry.
Absolutely.
We should be able to feed ourselves. If Israel is able to export food to other countries, we can't have all these arable lands and then nothing is happening. So for cosmetics, to answer you again, let's look at the herbal-based stuff. That is what makes us unique.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much indeed. Let me give the final word to Mr. Lejawa and find out from you, what next after Kenya? What is the next big thing we should be expecting from GEPA?
Well, yeah, more of what we've been doing in the recent few years by the vision of the CEO.
Yes.
Our idea is that we are going to ride seriously on the back of the National Export Development Strategy, and everybody should take keen interest in it. If you go to our website, we have the document there, and take a bite of it, because it's a national strategy, and in there lies the answer to our achieving the targets. And so we are taking the activities or the interventions one after the other, and making sure that we implement them.
Right.
I think that we are on track, but as I said earlier on, we cannot achieve it alone, i.e. GEPA alone cannot do it. So we need the cooperation of everybody. Fortunately for us, when we went to Kenya, we had the vice chair of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism also coming along with us. He was so impressed about what he saw that already he's become an advocate and is willing to also, you know, lobby for us, even within Parliament, for more resources to be allocated to GEPA to enable us to really, you know, give the necessary support that we ought to give. You've heard from the callers, a lot of them, you know, alluding to the fact that they need support.
Absolutely.
That is right, because we don't export ourselves, but it is the people that export. It is Moses who exports.
Yes.
So if we are willing to listen to his challenge, as he calls it, and we are able to respond to it positively, then we will achieve the target. So we have plans.
Also.
As I said, we will open new ones in some other countries. We will continue to do our expos. We have what we call the Regional Icons exhibition.
Right.
So we are not only going international, but we also want to recognize the local initiatives that are taking place here, particularly women-led businesses, which is critical and very important because, you know, women are the larger part of the population.
And I disagree.
And also the large majority
seconds,
of the youth are young women, and they are doing marvelous things.
Absolutely.
Moses knows that. So we want to positively discriminate in favor of our young ladies. And they hold the key to our success.
And we support you. We support you.
Yes, so let me say a big thank you to Mr. Alexander Dajawa, who is the head of projects or director of projects at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and indeed Mr. Moses Atobra, Chief Executive Officer of Davis Products, the Anti-Cosmetics, for joining us this evening to discuss, you know, how to exceed our revenue targets and also strategize for the future as far as non-traditional exports are concerned. Remember, GEPA has earned some $3.5 billion in 2022 in non-traditional export earnings. My name is Kennedy Mona. We would like to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, GOEL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed Phoenix Insurance for the sponsorship. We would also like to say a big thanks to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority for powering the show, and we entreat you to watch the abridged version of Iron Port on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television. My name is Kennedy Mona. We shall be back again next week with another wonderful edition of Iron Port. Good evening and have a super week ahead.